The air shimmers, a ripple in the fabric of reality itself. One moment I'm surrounded by the familiar hum of the 21st century, the next a profound silence broken only by the whisper of wind across vast open plains. The date on my temporal chronometer reads 980 BC. I have arrived in a world far removed from my own, a place of raw, untamed beauty. This is the Horn of Africa, a land that will one day give birth to a nation of incredible resilience and antiquity. My mission is simple, yet profound. To witness the dawn of Africa's oldest continuous country and trace its journey through the millennia. The sun beats down with an intensity that feels primeval, casting long shadows from acacia trees that dot the landscape like ancient sentinels. My senses are overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the wilderness. Herds of ibex with their curved horns navigate rocky escarpments with impossible grace. There are no cities here yet, no grand monuments to pierce the sky, only small, scattered settlements of circular huts, their thatched roofs blending into the golden grasses. The people I see are cautious but curious. Their dark eyes watch me from a distance, their faces etched with a wisdom as old as the mountains. They carry simple tools, their lives follow the rhythms of the land, the rains, and the migrations of the great animal herds. This is a world of beginnings. It is here, in these highlands, that the seeds of a great civilization are being sown. The story of Africa is often told starting with outsiders, but that narrative misses the deepest, most foundational chapters. The true story begins here with these people in this ancient landscape, human ingenuity, of faith, and an unbreakable spirit. My temporal coordinates shift forward and the world around me transforms. I now stand in the 1st century AD. Scattered settlements have coalesced into a mighty power. This is the kingdom of Aksum. The air is no longer silent, it is filled with the clamor of a bustling city. Merchants from distant lands roam Persia, India, walk these streets, their languages mingling with the local Ge'ez tongue. Aksum is a hub of international trade, a vital link between the Mediterranean world and the exotic markets of the East. The wealth of the kingdom is staggering, evident in the fine silks worn by its nobles and the gleaming gold coins that bear the image of its king. The most striking features of this new landscape are the great stelae, or obelisks, that tower over the city. These are colossal monuments carved from single blocks of solid granite, reaching towards the heavens. The largest of them, now fallen, would have been one of the single biggest pieces of stone ever moved by human hands in the ancient world. They are markers for the tombs of the Aksumite kings and queens, symbols of their power, their wealth, and their connection to the divine. Standing at their base, I feel an incredible sense of awe. These structures are a testament to the engineering prowess and the ambition of a civilization at its absolute peak. My journey continues. I find myself in Aksum, middle of the 4th century. King Ezana expanded the empire's borders, has made a momentous decision, embraced Christianity, arriving along the trade routes on the grand coins of the realm. Traditional symbol. The sun traditional symbol. The moon are replaced by the cross. This is not a conversion forced by a foreign power, but a choice made from within, a spiritual evolution that will set Aksum and its successor Ethiopia on a unique path. The adoption of Christianity transforms the kingdom. Churches begin to be built, first of wood and mud and later of stone. I witness a baptism ceremony in a stream, the new converts being welcomed by a priest from Syria. The ancient Ge'ez language is used to translate the Bible, creating one of the world's first Christian literatures. The faith takes on a distinctly African character, blending with pre-existing traditions and beliefs. It becomes the soul of the nation, a source of cultural unity and spiritual strength. While much of Europe was still considered a barbarian frontier, centuries before the faith reached many parts of that continent, this African kingdom had already established Christianity as its state religion, one of the first Christian nations in the world alongside Armenia. I move forward in time to the 12th century. The Aksumite Empire has faded. A new dynasty, the Zagwe, has risen to power. The capital has moved from Aksum to a remote, mountainous region in the highlands. Here in Roha, later renamed Lalibela, a king is about to create one of the wonders of the world. King Lalibela has a vision: to build a new Jerusalem in the heart of Africa, a holy city for pilgrims. He will not build by stacking stones, he will carve directly from living rock. The site is breathtaking. Entire churches have been chiseled downwards into volcanic tuff, not built, excavated. I walk through tunnels and trenches that connect 11 monolithic churches. Each church is unique. Some echo Aksum styles, others mirror Jerusalem. Bet Georgis, the Church of St. George, is a perfect cruciform, isolated in a deep pit, reached by a hidden trench. My journey now takes me to the 17th century. The capital has moved once again to the city of Gondar, north of Lake Tana. A new architectural style has emerged, distinctly African yet surprisingly European. I stand before the Fasıl Gebi, a walled royal enclosure, filled with castles, palaces, churches, structures that resemble medieval European fortresses, earning Gondar the nickname Camelot of Africa, fairy tale castles in the highlands. The grandest is Emperor Fasilides' castle, founded around 1636. A towering three-story structure, crenellated battlements, 4 dome-topped towers. Design blends influences, Portuguese, Indian, Moorish, but the result is uniquely Ethiopian imperial power and worldly sophistication. A ceiling of 80 cherubs, their dark wide eyes watching, walls covered in vivid murals, biblical scenes, lives of saints. The temporal dial spins forward one last time, landing me in the late 19th century, the scramble for Africa. European powers carve up the continent, dividing it among themselves with no regard for people or borders. Armies with superior weaponry subjugate kingdom after kingdom, a dark, disruptive chapter. But in Ethiopia the story is different, a lone beacon of independence, a defiant exception to the colonial tide. Its long history of unity, its rugged mountainous terrain, and the fierce spirit of its people have prepared it. 1896, near the town of Adwa. A massive Italian army invades, equipped with modern artillery and machine guns, confident of an easy victory. They aim to make Ethiopia part of a colonial empire, but they've underestimated their opponent. Emperor Menelik II, a brilliant strategist and a modernizer, has gathered a vast, motivated army from every corner of his empire. Men, women, diverse ethnic groups united. They've marched for weeks to defend ancient freedom. Armed with modern rifles and traditional spears, their greatest weapon is unwavering resolve. The Battle of Adwa, a turning point, a stunning, decisive victory. News reverberates across the globe. For the first time, a European colonial army is soundly defeated by an African one. The victory secures Ethiopia's sovereignty and sends hope and inspiration across colonized peoples worldwide. My journey through time is complete. I return to the present day, the year 2025. I am standing in Addis Ababa, the bustling modern capital of Ethiopia. Skyscrapers pierce the sky. The streets pulse with the vibrant energy of a nation on the move. Yet everywhere I look, I see echoes of the past. The city was founded by Emperor Menelik II. He is the hero of Adwa. Grand boulevards and official buildings speak to a long imperial history. Ethiopia embraces the future while remaining rooted in ancient tradition. You can see that in daily life. Women in modern dress walk the streets. Priests in traditional white robes walk beside them. They carry ornate silver crosses, like those in Lalibela. Amharic, descendant of ancient Ge'ez from Aksum, is heard everywhere. The Ethiopian calendar, about 7 years behind the Gregorian, still guides life. Festivals like Timkat, the Epiphany celebration, fill streets with processions and ceremonies unchanged for centuries. The past is not foreign here. It is woven into the present. Ethiopia's significance reaches beyond its borders. It is the only African nation never colonized, a source of moral authority. In the 20th century, Addis Ababa became a diplomatic hub. It became the headquarters of the Organization of African Unity, now the African Union. It is often called the political capital of Africa. Leaders from across the continent gather here. Ethiopia stands as a symbol of independence and self-determination. Its history continues to inspire freedom and unity across Africa and the diaspora. My 10-minute journey through millennia is over, but its impact will last a lifetime. I came to find Africa's oldest country, and I found so much more. I found a story that fundamentally challenges the way the world often views this continent. The story of Africa is not one of darkness, waiting for light to be brought from elsewhere. It is a story of its own light, burning brightly for thousands of years. Ethiopia is the living proof of this. It is a nation whose roots run deeper than almost any other on Earth, with a continuous, sovereign history that stretches back to the time of the ancient Romans and beyond. Before this journey, my perception of Africa, like that of many, was shaped by modern headlines and colonial-era narratives. It was a continent defined by its recent struggles rather than its ancient triumphs. To walk the grounds of Aksum, to touch the rock of Lalibela, is to understand the profound error in that view. It is to witness a civilization that was a global power when much of Europe was a fragmented wilderness. It is to see a faith that took root and flourished in Africa on its own terms.